Hi, everybody. It's me. My name's Josh Giesbrecht, and I'm tagging on a little extra recording to the start of what was meant to be just one continuous recording and somewhat live streamed. Not that I had time to announce it in advance, so nobody was watching anyway. But I lost some of the intro of the recording, so here's some explanation as to how I generated next year's date for International Random Number Generator Day. I'm a middle school teacher, and also dad to some very wacky kids who generate a lot of chaos on their own. So I wanted to find a way to involve my students and my kids. Exactly. So with my grade 6 class, we were doing some dice rolling because, I mean, obviously you need to start with dice rolling. And I presented to them like the question of like, okay, how could we generate a random day for next year? And they very quickly came to great ideas. Like, well, we were looking at like the Google dice rolling thing, and you could see there that there's a D12. 12 makes sense for generating the month randomly. Roll a D12. True. What do we do for the date? Well, that got a little more complicated. Do we like roll three D10s and add them together? And so that's where I wanted to pull them into a little discussion of like finding out that when you add numbers together that you roll randomly, that it's no longer an even distribution. And this is like they're grade 6. I didn't use words like uneven distribution, but just showing them like, hey, something got weird here. So I had them in small groups, rolling lots of dice, and each of those groups rolled. They aimed for 50 times. We almost got there, and so they were totaling up the sum of the 2d6s. And then I had them type them into a single spreadsheet because that makes it really easy to just copy and paste them all into one big long column, and then make a quick graph. And we haven't talked in depth about histograms, but I told them like here's what these bars represent, and it was pretty simple. And then I asked like, okay, why? I mean, first of all, they right away saw like somebody must have typoed because how is there a one? You can't have a one. They figured that out already. It's like, hey, rolling 2d6s wouldn't be a good way to generate a month because you can never get January. Kind of a ripoff. Um, but then we looked at this and said, well, wait a second. Why is it that like number two? Why is it rolling a two only happened a few times, but rolling like a nine happened like crazy? Um, and then a little introduction to the whole like there's more ways to generate a nine because you add these things together. There's lots more ways to add up those numbers to nine than there is to add them up to two. um, yeah, so introducing them to that idea because I just like dropping slightly advanced ideas that they may not need to know yet, but it's like, well, you might as well let them see it for a bit. Now, so I had these dice rolls. I wanted to use these somehow. um, this is far more randomness than I need, but also it's biased. And one thing that I found out about in my researching leading up to this and my poking around on Wikipedia and whatnot was this idea of a von Neumann extractor. And this is something that will get more like evenly distributed, evenly distributed randomness out of out of a data stream that is random but biased. So the concept here is it's working with binary numbers. If you've got a stream of binary numbers that are they're random, but they're consistently biased, like as in like there is a somewhat predictable bias to them. It's not just total, sometimes it's biased one way, sometimes it's biased another. It doesn't switch halfway through. If you do this process of pairing up the bits, um, let's see, where's the description here? So his extractor took bits two at a time, and this part is important. This isn't a sliding window of pairs of bits or something like that, where it's like, let's take these two and then these two. No, there's never any overlap between our comparisons. You look at the first two. If they're the same, if they're both zeros or they're both ones, don't output anything. If they're different, then a 0, 1 becomes a 0 and a 1, 0 becomes a 1. So the value of the first bit is what you output. And what this does is by getting rid of matching digits like that, it can be shown to produce a uniform random distribution, even if the distribution of the input bits is messed up. So what I did was I took my list of numbers between 2 and 12 that are super biased, and hello, Benjamin. He features later on in the video. I took this and I just stripped off the ones digit. So anything below 10 was a 0, anything above 10 is a 1. So now it's even more biased. I literally like everything from here down in the graph is a 0, and only the 10, 11, and 12s become a 1. So now it was already biased in the first place. Now it's even more biased. Ones are super uncommon. I copied it a couple of times and transposed it just so I could save it as a CSV, and dropped it into a small program here that is trying to implement this von Neumann extractor. So it's grabbing the biased data from that CSV file and loading it up, and then doing this reconstruction where it does, here's like where the extractor part actually happens. If the thing we're looking at, if the first of the pair we're looking at is 0 and the other one is a 1, push out a 1. If the, or alternately, if the first digit is a 1 and then the next one is 0, push out a 0. Which, now that I look at it, that means I reversed the way that he described it, but presumably it doesn't matter. It's just, it's inverted. That's still random. That's kind of funny. It's still random, it's just the opposite random, whatever. So it generates that binary sequence and then it converts that to a decimal number and spits it out. So the way this looks is, here it is. That big long list of like 23 plus dice rolls turned into a binary sequence that's only that long because all of those sequential bits that were identical just end up with no output at all, or basically thrown away. But that's fine because this is plenty of bits to make a single number. And since I wanted to have a bit of random selection in there, since I actually do have more bits of information than I need, even if I was generating like up to 365, I had it so you can like, I connected the mouse cursor's X position in this to where on the in the list of binary, and where in the list of digits we're actually starting this process of extracting the randomness. So this way, I could take. How did you manage to do that, Benjamin? That wasn't a good idea. Can you please not put your snake through my recording?
I didn't.
You kind of did. So
On purpose.
I know it wasn't on purpose. Get Sneaky out of there. Wow, that was probably really loud. All right. So no, keep your snake off of me now. So I wanted to include something my students had done, and I wanted to include some input from my kids because, as you can see, kids with ADHD, as I also found out I have recently, when you have a family full of ADHD, you have lots of randomness and chaos. So I figured, why not tap into that? This is a think about where my other recording left off and sort of started back up again since it had. Yeah, let's see. No, I think the other part to mention was we decided, my 7-year-old named Peter, he really wanted to roll a d12 to choose the month. And I'm like, how can I argue with that? That actually is a perfectly good way to generate the month. And then we just used this crazy process to generate the date within that month. So I'll stop there and the live stream recorded thing will kick in next. Peter really wants to roll a d12. So step 1, Peter, it's time. We need you to officially roll a d12. Okay. So I'm just going to really lazily pull this camera down. Oh my gosh. December. It's officially going to be, so next year's International Random Number Generator Day will take place in December. That has been determined. So now there are 31 days in December, so I can keep this as mod 31. If I take it mod 31, is it ever going to be 31? No, but it might be 0 sometimes, and there's no such thing as a 0 date, so let's just do +1. There we go. You got to watch out for those off by 1 errors. I probably made some other error in here as well, so my apologies if somebody looks at this later and is like, this is entirely unfair. The error in this code made it impossible for Random Number Generator Day to be on my birthday, and at that point I will say, you're right, I'm sorry. Too bad, deal with it. So let's save and run this. So what date in December is it going to be? That's true. One of my kids' birthdays is in December. So let me rerun this. Now I need to choose what index value I'm going to start from, and what I'll do for that is like it could be anything up to like over 200, except that then I run out of bits and it starts getting to be too small of a number. So let's just pick numbers between 1 and 200. So to do so, how are we going to roll dice to pick evenly pick a number between 1 and 200? How about if we have 2 of you roll a d10 and 1 of you roll a d4, and if we get a 4, we'll just like throw it away.
I'll roll the
Nathaniel, you want to help? All right, come on over here with come over with the d10.
I don't even know what my dice are.
Well, oh my gosh, do you need to borrow dice? All right, all right, all right. I should probably, you know what? I started streaming and I didn't want to waste time because I want the recorded video afterwards to be relatively short. I didn't even share on Twitter yet that this is happening, so I might take a half second and be like, post this on Twitter or something. Absolutely nobody's watching this live. I'm just streaming it out of laziness because then I don't have to upload afterwards. How do I even get the link to copy? Stream settings? Stream URL is like some... That's not the... What do I even do? Anyway. Here we go. Here we go. Copy. Go to Twitter. Paste it. This is a really valuable part of the video. Super valuable. Alright. Hey everyone. I am live streaming right now to choose next year's International Random Number Generator Day. Copy, go to Twitter, paste it. There we go. Okay, there we go, tweeted. Now we might get one view. We're going to turn this off in like 2 minutes anyway, so it's not going to matter, but that's okay. And now I'm hearing myself echo, so let's just make that go away. I don't even know. Error. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain a... That's probably because my network sucks lately. Okay, that's enough of that. All right, so we're going to do a D10 for the ones digit, a D10 for the tens digit, and then we'll figure something out for the hundreds digit. Got it? All right, so Nathaniel, D10. Wait, hold on. I'm just looking at my belly and not the tray. Here we go. Roll it into the tray. I'm not. I'm just rotating it into the camera's view here. It is in fact a 9. So ones digit is a 9. This is not determining the date directly. I'm literally going to just take this number. You want to do the ones digit? Should we let yours be the tens digit? Okay, Ben, roll it. Roll it. This is going to be used to choose the index of where I'm moving my mouse to like actually pick the date.
Roll it into the tray if you want to.
Yeah, roll it in here, buddy. Hey, why just cut that out? Here, he can do it. How do you want to do it, Ben? Snuggles Cheetah is going to roll it. His Stuffy is going to roll it. Okay, do it. Oh, you can't roll it on the floor. This is what I'm. See that? This is what I'm talking about. There is no purer source of chaos than this.
Roll it directly into the tray, or you don't get it.
Hey, you don't get to decide that. You don't get to decide that. Then I'll get some other dice out. There we go. All right, you know what? Let's just put the camera up here. Okay, so roll it. Okay, so, and you somehow picked the one that's a doubles. Anyway, so this was the ones digit. The ones digit is a 0. All right, so the tens digit was 9. Okay, so our index is 90, and now we just need to somehow choose. Can you, Peter, roll a d4? We want either a 0, 1, or a 2, so let's just subtract 1 from everything. What did you get? 3. Okay, so we'll take that 3 and we'll subtract 1 because we need the results to be either 0, 1, or 2. And we were going to throw away a higher number than that, so that means it is now 290. Can you hold this, please? Wait, actually, that's too high, isn't it? Act 290 is too high. Let's roll again. Wait, does that mean we have to do the whole thing again, or am I biasing it that way? I don't have time to care. Let's just do this. What do we get? Roll it again. We basically need a 0 or a 1 now. Good enough. It's a 1. See, the result is 2. That's too smart. Here you go. All right. Here we go. 190. Snuggles Cheetah helped. Thank you, Snuggles Cheetah. You are like a boon to mankind and cheetah kind. Here you go. All right, so 190. Here we go. The very careful moving of the mouse. Do I have enough bits left there? Sure, yeah, it's fine. 15th. Okay, there we go. It's official. Next year's International Random Number Generator Day will be December 15th. The month was chosen by the roll of a d12, and the date inside there was chosen by a far too elaborate and stupidly complicated process um, involving dice rolls that were biased, getting unbiased, and then indexing from the unbiased bit stream with more dice rolls. I think that was D12 sponsored by Peter Giesbrecht, my kid. Dice rolls were officially blessed by the presence of Snuggles Cheetah, who helped by rolling one of the D10s. Benjamin, do you want to have your face on camera? You could do that if you want. You can lean this way. The camera's over here, dude.
I also helped with dice rolls and
There we go. Thank you for helping.
His
I'm signing off so that this can actually be done. Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy next year's Random Number Generator Day on December 15th, 2022.